and welcome to Storytime. My name is Erica. I'm the children's librarian at the Belfast Free Library. This is my friend Wizzy. He likes to join us for Storytime. Let's start with a welcome song. In this song, we'll clap our hands and we will touch our toes. Sing along if you know it. Welcome, welcome everyone. Now you're here, we'll have some fun. First we'll clap our hands just so. Then we'll bend and touch our toes. Welcome, welcome everyone. Now you're here, we'll have some fun. Speaking of having fun, I had a fun idea for something that we could do at the library. We can host a Zoom pet show. People can sign on and go on to the Zoom camera and show their pets and talk about their pets and share them with friends online. You can find out more information about that at the library's website or on our Facebook page. So parents, have a look and I'll post the information about it soon. I was thinking about the idea of having a Zoom pet show, and it reminded me of a book by Ezra Jack Keats, which is called Pet Show. It's an old one, but a really good one. I'm going to share that with you now. Everyone was talking about the pet show. The kids told each other about the pets they would bring. Matt said he would bring ants. I'm going to bring my mouse, bragged Roberto. What are you going to bring, Archie? The cat? Uh-huh, said Archie. The next day, they all got ready for the pet show. Where's the cat? Archie called. Anyone see the cat? Archie and Willie looked in the cat's favorite hangouts, while Peter and Susie searched up and down the street. No cat. Archie's mother came to the window. Where can that cat be? He asked her. You know how independent he is, Archie. You never know when to expect him. But I expect him now. It's time for the pet show. Maybe he's inside somewhere. Archie ran into the building. After a while, he came to the window. I can't find him. I looked all over the place. You better start without me. Gee, we're sorry, Archie, said Peter. So long, said Susie. When they got to the entrance, a lot of people were already there. Just then, Roberto's mouse took off. Willie chased the mouse and Roberto chased Willie. Peter chased Roberto, Susie chased Peter, and the show started. They're all running. There's the mouse. Line up with your pets, please, the judges called. They walked up and down looking carefully at every pet and asking, how old is your pet? And what is your pet's name? Everyone got a prize for something. There was the noisiest parrot, the handsomest frog, the friendliest fishes, the yellowest canary, the busiest ants, the brightest goldfish, the longest dog, the fastest mouse, the softest puppy, the slowest turtle, and many more. As the last prize was awarded, someone shouted, "Look! Here comes Archie." "Hello, you're just in time," a judge said. "What's in that bag?" My pet. May I see it, please? At that moment, the cat showed up. The other judge called out, "A blue ribbon to the nice lady for the cat with the longest whiskers." The cat's hanging out with her. Before anyone could say anything, he pinned a blue ribbon on the older woman and came back to Archie. "What kind of pet have you got in that jar?" "A germ," answered Archie. And what's your germ's name?" Archie thought for a moment. "Al," he said. Pet germ in a jar. The judges whispered to each other. They're taking a good look. "A blue ribbon for Al, the quietest pet in the show," the judges announced. As everyone was leaving, the older woman came over to Archie. "He's really your cat, isn't he?" she said. "You should have the ribbon." "It's okay," Archie said. "You keep it." And then he ran to join his friends. They passed the woman on their way home. "Thank you for the ribbon," she called. Archie smiled. "It looks good on you. See you around." "See you around," she said. And that was Pet Show by Ezra Jack Keats. Let's take a few minutes now to get up and move around a bit. We'll start with a hand rhyme. It's called 5 Little Kittens. So start with 5 fingers out. 5 little kittens standing in a row. They nod their heads at the children so. You make your fingers nod like little kittens. They run to the left, run to one side. They run to the right, run to the other side. They stand up and stretch in the bright sunlight. Let's stretch our whole bodies up to the bright sunlight. Along comes a dog who's up for some fun. "Meow," say the kittens, and away they run. One more time. 5 little kittens standing in a row. They nod their heads at the children so. They run to the left, run, run, run. They run to the right, run, run, run. And they stand up and stretch in the bright sunlight. Along comes a dog who's up for some fun. "Meow," say the kittens, and away they run. Well, now that we're up and moving around, why don't we sing head, shoulders, knees, and toes? That's a good one to get the body moving. You ready? Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, and eyes, and ears, and mouth, and nose. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, There. Now we've had a chance to get moving a little bit. Why don't we share another story? This one is another pet story. It's not about a pet show or any pet that I've ever met. It's about a girl who has a pet sloth, and she names him Sparky. Sparky by Jenny Offel and Chris Applehans. I wanted a pet, a bird or a bunny or a trained seal. My mother said no to the bird, no to the bunny, no, no, no to the trained seal. I asked her every day for a month until she finally said, You can have any pet you want, as long as it doesn't need to be walked or bathed or fed. I made her a promise. Then I went to see the school librarian. Mrs. Kinklebaum, who knew everything in the world, pointed me to the volume S of the Animal Encyclopedia, and this is what I found. Sloth. Sloths have been known to sleep more than 16 hours a day. They sometimes hang upside down in trees, barely moving for long periods of time. They survive by eating leaves and drinking the dew that collects in them. It's said that sloths are the laziest animals in the world. My sloth arrived by express mail. It was about the size of a medium-ish dog with a flat nose and a monkey face. My mother wasn't happy, but a promise is a promise, I said. Sparky, I decided. That will be your name. I took him outside to his tree, and Sparky went right to sleep. I made a sign and put it under the tree. Guard sloth. Enter at your own peril. See that sloth? Does it look like that one? Not really. It was 2 days before I saw him awake. He didn't know a lot of games, so I taught him some. We played King of the Mountain, and I won. He's still sitting at the bottom. We played hide and seek, and I won. He didn't go anywhere to hide. We played Kung Fu Fighter, and I won. We played Statue, and Sparky was very, very good. That weekend, Mary Potts came over to investigate. Let me show you what Mary Potts is like. This is a picture of her room. She has a lot of awards. Excellence in penmanship, compliance, best fire drill liner-upper, most likely to chew closed-mouthed in the lunchroom. Those are the awards on her wall. Before she even took off her coat, Mary said, "Let me see your new pet." I had some worries, but I took her out to Sparky's tree. He opened his eyes and looked at us, and then he closed them again. I rubbed his belly, but it was too late. We stood there for a while, watching him sleep. His fur ruffled gently in the breeze. "I feel sorry for you," Mary said. "My cat can dance on her hind legs, and my parrot knows 20 words, including God and ice cream." "Sparky knows tricks too," I told her, but she didn't believe me. The next day, I made a poster and I nailed it to the tree outside Mary Potts' house. It says, "Trained Sloth Extravaganza. Countless tricks to mystify you. Just 7 days away." All week, we trained in secret. Sometimes Sparky slept through practice and I had to poke him awake. Sometimes he forgot what he was doing and we had to start over. Sometimes he took so long to fetch that I went inside and had dinner while I waited. I was starting to think that the poster had been a mistake, but a promise is a promise. On the day of the Trained Sloth Extravaganza, my mother set up lawn chairs. 3 people came to see Sparky perform. My mother, Mary Potts, and Mrs. Edwin, the crossing guard. Mrs. Edwin approved of Sparky because he never ran into the street. Do I look like a ringmaster? I asked my mother. You look very interesting, she told me. I think that's a pasta strainer on her head. I put a little glitter on Sparky just before the curtain went up. I kept wishing I had written 2 tricks on the poster instead of countless tricks. Play dead, Sparky, I said, and he did. Roll over, I said, and he didn't. Speak, I commanded. We all waited and waited. Speak, I said. Sparky looked at me. The only thing you could hear was the wind in the trees. He has a very pretty coat, doesn't he? Mrs. Edwin said finally. You can't just invent a brand new pet like that, Mary told me. A pet no one's ever had. My mother came out with lemonade and cookies, but everyone said they had to be going. Sparky and I watched them. Then my mother made me put the chairs away. Afterward, I gave Sparky a cookie, but he ate it so slowly that I took it back again. It was getting dark out. I looked at him and he looked at me. You could hear all the neighborhood dogs barking. I reached over and tagged him on his claw. You're it, Sparky, I said. And for a long, long time, he was. Just had to find a game that would be fun to play with Sparky. That was Sparky by Jenny Offel and Chris Appelhans. And this is Poirot, our hamster. I thought I would share him with you today since we're talking about pets. Maybe I'll bring him to the Zoom Pet Show. I do hope you're going to join me for that. That's all the time that we have today for Storytime. Why don't we sing the Open Shut Them song together, and I'll put some links to some crafts that you can check out once your fingers are all warmed up. You ready? Open, shut them, open, shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them, open, shut them. Lay them in your lap, lap, lap. Creep them, crawl them, creep them, crawl them. Right up to your chin, chin, chin. Open up your little mouth. Ah, but do not let them in. Thank you for joining us today. I hope we'll see you next time. Goodbye.